Us midterms, Republicans narrowly win back the House. Like the video and subscribe. We will continue to bring you hot news every day. Republicans have secured the 218 seats needed for a majority in the lower chamber of Congress a week after the midterm elections, the BBC's U.S. partner, CBS News projects. While the party's margin in the House of Representatives is razor-thin, it is enough to stall President Joe Biden's agenda for the next 2 years. But Democrats will keep control of the Senate when the new Congress convenes in January. A handful of seats remain to be called. The Republicans, who had hoped to win back control of both chambers, underperformed expectations in last week's midterms. But they won the seat they needed for their House majority on Wednesday when California's 27th district went to incumbent Mike Garcia. The Republican Party is now projected to win between 218 to 223 seats in the 435-seat House, according to CBS. But with votes in cliffhanger races still being tallied, their majority may not be clear for days or even weeks. Kevin McCarthy, who was picked by rank-and-file Republicans on Tuesday to be their nominee to replace Democrat Nancy Pelosi as the next Speaker of the House, celebrated having officially flipped the chamber. McCarthy wins Republican nomination for Speaker. Midterms results in maps and charts. Donald Trump says he'll run for president in 2024 and Americans are ready for a new direction, and House Republicans are ready to deliver, and the California congressman tweeted on Wednesday night. In order to be elected Speaker, the House Republican minority leader must win over majority support from the 435 members of the full House. But Mrs. Pelosi signaled she would not relinquish the gavel quietly, vowing in a statement on Wednesday night that her party would exert strong leverage over a scant Republican majority in The first woman to hold the post, Mrs. Pelosi, 82, said nothing in her press release about whether she planned to stay on as minority leader, amid speculation in Washington about her future. Presentational gray line can fractious Republican caucus poll. Together, Nancy Pelosi was able to accomplish a considerable amount with just a 9-seat margin. But she has proven to be singularly gifted at wrangling recalcitrant Democrats. There's no guarantee Republicans, who run the gamut from moderates in suburban battleground districts to Freedom Caucus conservative hardliners, will be equally cooperative with their party's leadership. A majority is a majority, however, and assuming Republicans can pull together to elect a speaker when the full chamber votes in January, they will reap the rewards of their midterm victory. House rules give the party in charge control over which legislation gets votes and which languishes in limbo. Republicans will also run all the House committees, with their sweeping oversight and subpoena powers. While the fractious Republican caucus may not agree on much, they will be able to stop Joe Biden's agenda in its tracks and force showdowns over federal budget priorities. For a party that has watched Democrats rack up a string of legislative successes over the past 2 years, that by itself will be a significant achievement. Presentational gray line President Joe Biden congratulated Mr. McCarthy and offered to work with Republicans to deliver results for Americans. And as I said last week, the future is too promising to be trapped in political warfare, and said the Democratic president. And the American people want us to get things done for them. They want us to focus on the issues that matter to them and on making their lives better. And Mr. McCarthy's party had hoped that the president's relatively low popularity, stubborn inflation, and the fact that congressional maps were redrawn by Republican-led state legislatures would add up to midterms victories for them. The blame for last week's lackluster showing has largely landed on two party leaders, former President Donald Trump and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. On Tuesday night, the ex-president formally announced a third bid for the White House in 2024 from a ballroom at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. In Washington on Wednesday, Mr. McConnell was renewed as Senate Minority Leader, fending off a challenge from fellow Republican Rick Scott of Florida. Non-congressional results are still trickling in more than a week after Election Day. On Wednesday, Congresswoman Karen Bass was projected to win the race to be the next mayor of Los Angeles, the second largest city in America, after defeating billionaire businessman Rick Caruso. The Democrat will become the first woman to hold the office and the city's second ever black mayor. We hope the video was useful to you. Like the video and subscribe. We will continue to bring you hot news every day.